What's going on, YouTube? My name is Venator, and I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the most requested topics that I get on all of my videos, and that is Croc PvP. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how I control my territory and taking you guys through everything I think you need to know about the Croc meta and what to do to be successful at PvP. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you learned something, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First things first, the most important rule for Croc PvP is don't go to any hotspot until you reach 10.5 tons. If you are under 10.5 tons, then you will just be one shot. You will get grabbed and killed, and you will be extremely upset. So that is rule number one. Rule number two, after you've gotten to the 10.5 ton weight, find a part. I know this isn't possible for everybody, and there's a ton of people that like to play solo. But unfortunately, how the Apex meta works is by duo fighting. It's the same for Rex, the same for Trike, and the same for Dino, and it will be the same for Spino and Giga when they're eventually released in who knows how many years. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, Sniper and I log in and out together. That is crucial. You don't have to, but it really helps. We have a spot in Highlands in that bush where we log in and out. That way we can immediately group up. And then we do what I call clearing the lake. So here, we logged in and we're clearing the south side. We found another Dino and he was grabbable, so we immediately killed him. Now, a lot of people think that this is scummy or just being a bad player, but this is how the game works. When I first started playing this game back in 2024, whenever I went to Highland Lake as a solo, I would get killed because there was always a duo there controlling the lake. And that's just how the game works. So I'm hoping that this video will kind of illustrate and really help you guys in controlling your territory wherever it may be. I'm using Highland Lake as the example because this is where I've spent a majority of my time. But you can apply this anywhere. You can apply this to West Rail Pond, South Plains River, North Lake, East Lake. Doesn't really apply to Delta because Delta's, you can find any amount of Crocs in there. But all these places where it's isolated, this is what I recommend doing. And so, as you guys saw, we dropped one Dino already in the lake. He was on the south side, and that's why we always log in the middle, so that way we can choose a side and clear it together. And we always try and play together until we know that there's not any other Crocs here. But that doesn't mean that you won't ever get ambushed or another duo can't log in on top of you. It can easily happen, so if you want the best odds of holding this lake, stick with your duo. Here, we were making our way back over the north side because where there's one Croc, often there's going to be another one. So we wanted to clear both sides of this lake. That way we could drop our guard and just focus on hunting. And like I've said numerous times, swim on the bottom. If you come up above the water and are just swimming with your nose up in the air, smelling, any other Dino that is just lounging on the shore or just slightly under the water is going to see that. But here, it was the opposite. We were coming across to the north side, and this is when we found yet another grabbable Croc just sitting here. And he forgot the biggest thing about Highlands. There's other big Crocs here. So we grabbed him and killed him. Just like that, our territory was secured and we could go about our day hunting. Now some people might ask, why kill them? Why not let them live? And well, the answer is pretty simple. If you let them live, they could grow to be big enough and challenge you for your territory. Why risk yourself taking a fair fight when you can win the fight before it even starts and grab them and drown them? That's how I play it. And then again here, logged into the lake, and there was another duo. We grabbed the first one and took him down to the depths. Here, Sniper was on the other side of the lake, so I just grabbed the biggest one and took him down. I think that guy's buddy left and logged out. I don't know if they were together in VC, but again, don't come to Highlands or any other hotspot if you were grabbable. Moving on, well, what if you're over the 10.5 tons in solo? Well, then this is probably what's going to happen to you if you come to a hotspot. Here, Sniper and I had already cleared the lake, and I was semi-AFK. I had my game open, but I was just lounging, getting some air back. And that's when I noticed this big prime come around. And we had missed this guy. I don't know if we just missed him when we cleared the lake, or if he logged in after we had already cleared the north side. Either way, he came over to our side. But I don't know if he was going to ambush me. It didn't look like it. It looked like he was sizing me up and thinking about it, and as soon as I went for him, the fight was on and he knew it. He just didn't know that I had a partner. And I'll be honest, you know, this is a 2v1. I just died like this in Delta not even 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago on my EU Dino. It happens, and it's the name of the game. If you don't play with a duo and you're a 13.5 ton croc, you have to play very careful, because you've put a lot of time into that guy, and just to get killed by a duo is not a fun way to go. But like I said earlier, we are not about sharing our territory, so he had to go. Now, what do you do if it's two other crocs? Here, I was lounging on the north side of the lake, just under the water, where you don't lose any O2 or water, so you can sit and watch the lake peacefully. I noticed this other Dino walking over from water access, and he was large. So I called out to Sniper, told him to get over here, and then we would put this guy down. But as I was waiting on Sniper Dude and watching this guy fill up on his water, I noticed a second Dino coming back with him. He was definitely smaller, as you can tell from this. And also, another way you can tell he's smaller is that since the bigger one got here first, that guy was slower. So your speed is determined by your size. So since that big one was more than likely a full prime, and the one with him looked like from a distance that he would be grabbable, Sniper and I, we decided this was the perfect time to ambush somebody. Yes, we could have swam over there and grabbed his friend and swam off with him and then chose for the 1v1 and then come and clean him up. But I wanted to do this a little differently. Setting up ambushes are fun and a great way to practice and hone your skills. So I had a plan. My hope was that they would split up. A lot of times, people don't swim together when they're clearing the lake. And this is huge in PvP. You gotta stick together. But since one of them was larger and one of them was smaller, I was hoping that they would just think that the lake was completely open, since the north side would be clear, and that the smaller one, the ideal target, would come first. And I have to say, the ambush worked out pretty well. So the plan for the ambush was this. I was going to sit down here on the bottom where it really slopes off to the bottom of the lake. This way, I could use my third person to see whoever was coming first, and they would have no chance at seeing me. This grass and remaining still, it's crazy camouflage. I've swam over so many dinos, and I've had other dinos swim over me as well. So this was just a waiting game. I was going to sit right here and wait, and Sniper was a little bit further back behind me in case the bigger one came first. And then another huge tip, when you know you're going to get into a fight, you can gestate all of your eggs. So if you didn't notice, my hunger was pretty full. And this is why I always take female. Gestating these eggs drops your hunger, and so if you have hypermetabolic, this makes your bite force higher. You can do this anytime before a fight. Now, if you're 13.5 tons, you can only do this once because you aren't able to nest and get rid of the eggs. Or at least I haven't tried that. You might be able to lay them and then they just can't hatch. That's something worth testing. If any of you guys know that, let me down below in the comments. I've never really thought about that until now. And after only a few minutes of waiting, success. My idea had worked and was already in motion. The smaller guy, he came to the south side first. So my ambush worked perfectly, and I grabbed him and swam down to the bottom. Now, the big one, seeing that his friend is getting killed, the hope was that he would run over and run into Sniper's ambush. So I took this guy off to the side until he drowned, and Sniper engaged the other one. So, just headed back, and we just had to clean this guy up, and the fight was over. Sniper was doing pretty good in the 1v1, and so here, we just have to communicate and go in and out. That way, neither of us takes too much damage. As you can see, I was kind of hovering off to the side of the fight, letting Sniper do his thing until I had an opening to enter the fight. And then, if Sniper gets a little bit lower on health and wants a break, he can exit the fight and I can enter and take his place. Either way, there was no chance that this guy was walking away from this fight. And he was pretty good. He had some good head movement and knew what he was doing as a fighter. And you gotta respect that. Not everybody is that good at fighting, and this guy at least had some experience. But in a 1v2, there's just truthfully not a lot you can do. But what if it's two crocs that aren't grabbable? Here, Sniper and I were on the south side lounging around, having just killed two smaller crocs. And that's when we had these two bigger guys show up. They had walked over from water access, looking to challenge anyone here and take the lake for themselves. And they got the ambush on Sniper, but luckily I was close by and the fight was on. So I hope you guys enjoy this awesome 2v2. I want to give a big GG's to these two. One of them was a Twitch streamer by the name of Ghostly Eddie, I believe. He was a cool dude, and I popped in his stream and gave him a GG, and we had a nice little conversation in his stream. Great guy, so definitely go check out his stream if he's still streaming the Isle. Anyway, this fight, it was a really good fight. They did a good job, and it got me to wounded, and I think it got Sniper to wounded too. But unfortunately, one of them, I'm not sure who exactly it was, he had just crossed the 10.5 ton. As you can see, he's a little bit smaller than the other guy. And that makes a huge difference in a fight. If you're 13.5 tons fighting a 10.5 or 11 ton croc, you have, well, 3,000 to 2,000 more hit points because that's what your weight is. It's directly correlated to your health. So being both of us as a 13.5 ton, we still had the advantage and we should win that fight more times than not. Now, if Sniper had gone down and it was a 1v2, I very well could have died, but you never know. Now in this example, Sniper and I logged in to our full prime dinos on Petite's EU server. This time, we were wanting to see if anybody was in the lake. So it was full pop and we were on a weekend. This is typically a prime time for the EU server. And so we wanted to see if there was anybody else here to fight. We logged in our normal spot and grouped up and immediately made our way over to the south side of the lake to see who we could find here. And sure enough, the lake was occupied. So we immediately went on the attack to try and secure our territory. So I hope you guys enjoy this fight. And that was another really good fight. These guys, while we caught the first one off guard, he had a buddy waiting for him like you guys saw, and they gave us a really good fight. Not quite as close as the previous fight. I don't know if you saw it, but my bite force was still at 575. So you can kind of use that as a gauge. If you get to wounded, how low your bite force drops is how close to death you are. If your bite force is at 250, then the next bit of damage is probably going to kill you. But right there, in this fight, I didn't get put to wounded. Sniper took a little bit more damage, so after filling up our food, we went to a bush to heal up. And this is where we made a pretty big mistake. We hadn't really been seeing a ton of other dinos in this lake, so I decided to risk it and we get in this bush to heal up. And in the Croc PvP world, we should have found a better spot further away from the water to log off. We had another pair that walked over from water access about 10 minutes after we logged in and killed those guys. And unfortunately, I was still sitting here AFK when that guy saw Sniper Dude's body under the bush. And I came back to getting bit. As you can see, I'm just sitting here taking the bites. We're in a bush, and the guy that attacked us, he doesn't even know that there's two of us in here. But by the time I get back, he's probably bit me 7 or 8 times. And I'm probably wounded now at this point. And I don't know what's going on, so I'm trying to scramble. And that's when Sniper kind of explained what was going on. And look, bigger guy. I couldn't believe it. So I immediately started attacking him because Sniper was low again. I told Sniper to get back in the bush and I would try and fight this guy. Put a little distance between me and him because I wanted to check my health. I know it's really quick and you probably won't be able to see it, but I wasn't on wounded, to my surprise. So we were trying to go for a 2v1. Sniper, being the good partner he was, did not follow the advice to go into the bush. He was good battle buddy as always and trying to help me put this guy down. But what we didn't know is this guy, he wasn't alone. At the time, we thought maybe that we could get him. And unfortunately, Sniper Dude went down. Our play here, I probably wasn't the best. I got a little friendly fire on him there, and I think helped kill him. And after this guy realized he wasn't quite winning the fight, his buddy made it back into the water, and now the 2v1 was against me. Luckily though, this guy was pretty low and I could tell he wasn't trying to fight. He was trying to let his friend kill me. So using all my stamina and tricks in the book that I could think of, dodging around, I at least got him down. It was a good attempt, but I was not left with enough health to successfully take this 1v2. Anyways, that's how it goes. GG to those guys. And what I didn't know at the time, but after messaging with him on Discord a little bit back and forth, another pair logged in and killed that guy. So that was about 8 big crocs in Highland Lake in the span of about 30 minutes. That's how croc PvP goes, and that's how many pairs you can run into. So I hope this video really helped you guys out. I know I didn't really talk a whole lot about the actual combat. If you want to see more about how I actually fight, go check out my combat guide. I will have that linked down below. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all next time, and happy hunting.